there is to it. So she's coming right out and saying, I'm not even going to look at other teams. I'm not going to look at other teams at all in all of this. I'm coming back to the Liberty. And look, this is awfully convenient to have Breanna Stewart have some news during this same video in which I tell you
a few significant WNBA storylines are developing at the same time, and they are all connected in ways that matter for the league's immediate future. On the free agency front, Breanna Stewart has made her decision public, and she is not leaving New York. Stewart confirmed she will be resigning with the Liberty, stating directly that she has no intention of taking meetings with other teams and that the matter is settled. The Liberty made keeping her a top priority, and that priority has been secured.
Project B, well, it seems they're adding more players. They're shifting their start date. Not good news for Unrivaled. All the while, Unrivaled's headed into the last year of their media rights deal with TNT Sports, with Warner Brothers, who just got bought by Paramount.
Meanwhile, the Las Vegas Aces are moving forward with their full commitment to A'ja Wilson, another situation where a franchise's centerpiece is staying put. The bigger and more complicated story involves Project B. The new Women's Basketball League continues to sign players and has now added Awam Pham, who multiple projections currently have as the #1 overall pick in the upcoming WNBA draft on April 13th. Project B co-founder and chief basketball officer Alana Beard spoke to Front Office Sports about the signing, describing Pham as someone with the potential to become the next global superstar in the sport.
Economics is going to be a thing, and now they're going to land. And you see this headline Annie Constable put up, the projected top. People are saying that Awam Pham may be the #1 overall pick in this WNBA draft, and she is now signed with Project B. Ooh, all right. Yikes. So what?
Beard acknowledged that most fans are unfamiliar with her because she has been playing in Spain, but expressed confidence that she will change that perception quickly. Film of Pham shows a lengthy, skilled big who can finish around the rim with layups and finger rolls at a level that the WNBA has been missing. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, though the league has previously been reported to be offering multi-million-dollar salaries to top players.
What is that? Kelsey Mitchell, Nika Agumake, Sophie Cunningham, Alyssa Thomas, Jonquel Jones, Jewel Lloyd, Camila Cardoso. This is going to get interesting. I did the math earlier. There's over 50 players that hadn't signed yet. And now we knew, look, the CBA and
Project B's current roster stands at 13 players, with the league planning to field 6 teams of 11 inches its inaugural season. The start date has been pushed back from the originally expected November window to December, a shift that appears directly tied to the WNBA's new CBA. Under the updated collective bargaining agreement, the last possible end date for the WNBA season is November 21st, extending to November 30th by 2028.
Added games in the WNBA was going to slide the season down from the WNBA. Project B took care of that. They just slid their season down a little bit. So this was the comments made right here. By the way, the latest signing may go #1 overall in the WNBA draft on April 13th. That's 13 days away, folks. Quote, she has a lot of potential to be the next global superstar. Project B.
Beard addressed the scheduling overlap question by emphasizing flexibility and framing Project B as a collaborative addition to the women's basketball ecosystem rather than a competing force against it. The league has also confirmed Valencia as a second tour stop, with games running March 12th through the 21st, and the final stop set for Tokyo from March 26th through April 4th. 7 total stops across Asia, Europe, and the Americas are expected, with the full schedule still being finalized.
Co-founder, chief basketball officer, Alana Beard, told Front Office Sports. A lot of people don't know her because she's in Spain, but I can tell you just from my impressions of her, She's going to surprise a lot of people. We watched her play. We just saw her play in the World Cup qualifiers. She damn well looks the part. Before I decided to do this video, I went back and just looked at some film of her. You want to talk about a big that can actually hit a
All of this puts Unrivaled in an increasingly difficult position. The league's ratings have been struggling badly, and the numbers being thrown around in comparison are not flattering. The lowest-rated USFL game from the most recent weekend drew 488,000 viewers, with one game approaching 1 million.
layup in this, which is something that this league sorely does not have. Yeah, she's hitting layups, finger rolls, you name it. And she's long. She's got size. Details of Pham's contract was not disclosed, but Front Office Sports had previously reported the league was offering WNBA stars multi-million-dollar salaries. They've got 13 players.
The Unrivaled Championship game drew fewer viewers than the USFL's worst-performing broadcast by nearly 200,000. With TNT Sports and Warner Brothers now being acquired by Paramount, holding the media rights heading into what could be the final year of that deal, the financial calculus is becoming harder to ignore. Project B, meanwhile, has a different and reportedly more substantial investor base behind it, with questions about the origins of that funding still circulating publicly.
The league will field 6 teams of 11 players in its inaugural season. The start date, first to be expected in November, will actually be in December, according to sources familiar with the league's business operations. Since the WNBA CBA was finalized, questions have swirled around potential conflict between the WNBA's end of season and the beginning of Project B. The last possible end date for the WNBA season under the new CBA.
For players who built their off-season income around Unrivaled, the emergence of Project B as a well-funded alternative with a global touring model represents a genuine shift in options. The fact that the projected top pick in this year's draft has already chosen that alternative over Unrivaled says something about where elite players see the better opportunity. The Indiana Fever front office made a deliberate move recently, releasing a series of posts highlighting head coach Stephanie White in honor of Women's History Month.
Indiana Fever admins, and they was probably instructed by the Indiana Fever front office to do this, but we're going to talk about this. So they released a series of posts 3 hours ago. We're going to get through them one by one. It goes on to say, get to know head coach Stephanie White in celebration of Women's History Month. Head coach Stephanie White. And there she go right there. Then it goes on to list her career highlights, which is nothing. Stephanie White was an average player.
The timing was clearly intentional. Criticism of White had been building steadily among the fan base, and this felt like the organization sending a direct signal that she isn't going anywhere. The posts walked through her career highlights as both a player and a coach. On the playing side, White picked up the Gatorade Player of the Year award in 1995, a USA Today Player of the Year recognition, and a national championship with Purdue in 1999.
Which is nothing. Stephanie White was an average player. Like, she had some accolades here and there, you know what I'm saying? You know, like the 95 Gatorade Player of the Year award, that was a big one. USA Today Player of the Year award, but you got to realize the level of competition ain't what it is today. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the WNBA. Like, these young ladies that's coming into the league and playing in college right now, they're top next level, bro. Like, scoring records being set, you know, so no disrespect to
noteworthy accomplishments for the era, though the honest acknowledgement here is that the level of competition in women's basketball then is nowhere near what it is today. The talent pipeline coming through college programs right now, the scoring records being broken, the athleticism, it's a completely different landscape. Her coaching resume listed in the post cover stints as an assistant at Ball State, Kansas State, Toledo, the Chicago Sky, and the Indiana Fever before her first head coaching role with the Fever from 2015 to 2016.
No disrespect to Stephanie White and her career accolades. It's just that the level of competition ain't what it was. You know, well, ain't what it is like it is today. Now, she did win a national championship back in 1999 with Purdue, which was legendary. Then in 95. So all of her main accolades came from 95, which was a lifetime ago. I will say about 30 damn years ago. Now, Here's something that stuck out to me was a picture that they posted with Aaliyah Ball.
She later led the Connecticut Sun, earning WNBA Coach of the Year honors in 2023 and returned to Indiana as head coach in 2025. The Fever also claimed the Commissioner's Cup title under her watch that same year. What the Post conspicuously left out was her time at Vanderbilt, and that omission has not gone unnoticed.
So now, here's something that stuck out to me was a picture that they posted with Aaliyah Boston and Stephanie White, pretty much signaling and indicating to us that this is their gal, pouring into people, inspiring, providing opportunities, and helping instill confidence and belief in themselves. That's a very gratifying part of what I get to do every day. Then there's this career highlights as a coach right here. Ball State assistant, 03 to 04. Kansas State assistant, 04 to 05. Toledo assistant.
White was hired as Vanderbilt's head coach in 2016 and spent 5 seasons there. The numbers were difficult: a 46 to 83 overall record, 13 to 54 against SEC competition, no NCAA tournament appearances, and multiple losing seasons, including one where the program finished with just 7 wins. The program struggled consistently in a demanding conference, and in 2021 she was relieved of her duties, with the school citing a need for a new direction.
Toledo assistant, 05 to 07. Chicago Sky assistant, 07 to 010. Indiana Fever assistant, 2011 through 2014. Indiana Fever head coach, 2015 to 16. And Connecticut Sun head coach, 23 to 24. Indiana Fever head coach, 25 to present. 2012 WNBA champion, 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year, 2023 WNBA All-Star Game Coach, 2025 WNBA Commissioner Cup Champion. What they left out of here.
It's a chapter that doesn't fit neatly into a celebratory narrative, which likely explains its absence. What followed was a genuine rehabilitation of her coaching reputation. She returned to the WNBA, rebuilt her credibility with the Connecticut Sun, and earned the sport's top coaching honor.
Commissioner Cup champion. What they left out of here that many people is not talking about is her stint at Vanderbilt. See, it's the Vanderbilt stint that really have fans up in arms, because that stint there is pretty interesting. So during her time at Vanderbilt, right, former WNBA coach and Purdue legend was
that arc, struggling in college, then thriving back in the professional game, is the full picture of where she stands today. Fan response to the post was immediate and unfiltered. Comments ranged from frustrations about player development and offensive philosophy to pointed references to the Vanderbilt tenure.
Right, former WNBA coach and Purdue legend was hired as Vanderbilt women's head coach back in 2016. Now, if they got all of this on here, why we ain't talking about 2016? Now, at Vanderbilt, she went 46 of 83. She was 13 of 54 against SEC teams. No NCAA tournament appearance. The program struggled heavily in the SEC during her tenure. She took over a rebuilding program in 2016, multiple losing seasons during her tenure. She took over a rebuilding program in 2016, multiple losing seasons, some as low as 7 damn wins. Could you imagine being a coach winning 7 games in college basketball? See, that's the Stephanie White everybody don't want to talk about. Now, in the 2020 to 21 season, it was impacted by COVID plus injuries. Now, in 2021, she was fired from Vanderbilt after 5 seasons. Vanderbilt said that
whether the fan criticism eases as the season unfolds will depend almost entirely on results. A strong start from the Fever would quiet most of it. A slow one will bring all of it back louder than before.